Now,
babysitting job is
one of the
bad.
most amazing things I ever saw Amos do is one day, it was just me and Amos, and we were down in my truck, down by the river, to cut firewood. Now, in this part of California, they don't have yards the way they do here in Vermont. They just turn their cattle loose for 6 months at a time.
What does it mean?
You just go range, and you go, find whatever food you can, and I'll pick you up in the spring, is what basically they do with their cattle.
What's
So,
a cattle?
Cows,
You just let them go out?
Yeah, let them go out. And they have these leases with, thousands and thousands of acres. And the cows, they have these dogs that can corral them. So here I was driving down this street, this road, and there's all of a sudden this herd of cows on the road. And they're blocking they're right on the road, and I'm going, oh my God, what do I do now? And Amos, he didn't even stop and talk to me about it. The window was rolled down, he just jumped right out the window. And I watched him, and I thought, what is he going to do? And he puffs up, and big, makes himself bigger and starts barking. And he runs at the herd this way and sweeps half of it off the road. Then he doubles around and sweeps the other half, and he just goes back and forth and clears the road, makes the cows get off the road.
He's like a sheepdog.
Well, that's why they call him a German Shepherd. He is a shepherd. Yeah, exactly.
That's why they listen to him.
Well, that's right. And I don't think you guys are old enough for this movie, but there's a movie that you'll see someday called Raiders of the Lost Ark. And there's this scene just like this herd of cows, where all the Arabs in the white dress melt away, and there's one guy in a black turban and outfit with a big sword. And he is saying, oh yeah, I'm not afraid of you, to Harrison Ford. And this is exactly what happened with Amos. Here Amos is going back and forth, sweeping the road, and then there's this bull. And Amos is running up and barking at him, and this bull goes, "What? What do you want?" And Amos looks at him, and he says, "Well, I want you to move." But he didn't really say it, he just acted that way. And the bull said, "I'm not going anywhere." And so Amos, he feints to the right, so he dodges a little bit like this, and then he runs around to the left and jumps up about this high off the ground. Yeah.
From the ground?
From the ground up here, and he bites the bull right in the butt.
Why does it say bite everybody in the butt?
That's his style. So he bites this bull, and the bull, scurries, gets out of the way. He doesn't like being bit in the butt. And then the road is clear. And he turns around and says, "Okay, Dad, come on, you can come down the road." And I'm telling you, I'm just sitting there in the truck with my mouth hanging open. It's like, Amos, you've grown up in a city in Los Angeles. How did you know how to herd cows? He didn't. He just took it in stride. It was just like he'd done it all his life.
How did you get Amos?
Well, I gave my friend Jim a ride to pick up his car that had been worked on by a mechanic. And this guy had found a stray dog. He already had 2 dogs of his own, and so he had Amos, and...
Who named him Amos?
I think I did. And he just, he said, you want a dog? And I went, well, yeah. And so I said to Amos, load up, get in the car. And he jumped right in. And that first night, it was pretty amazing. I stopped off at the store to buy
How
some.
old was Daddy?
Daddy wasn't born yet.
Oh.
I hadn't met Leora either.
Hmm?
And I stopped off at the store to get some dog food. And I only had this one room. That was my apartment. It was, you know, where I made pots and where I slept and where I cooked my food. I mean, it was pretty compact. So I got Amos a little bed and I laid it down next to my couch where I was sleeping.
You slept on the couch?
Yeah, I didn't have a bed.
Oh.
And
Also.
I told Amos, okay, lie down, time to go to bed. And Amos looked at me like, really? You're gonna let me stay in the same room where you sleep?
Why?
Well, he thought that was pretty amazing,
Why?
that I was so generous and kind to let him share my living space. And I just, go lay down, everything's fine. And Amos went, okay. And he lay down, and 14 years later, he was dying. But in that 14 years, we had a lot of good times. Yeah, he was a great dog. He was one great dog. He actually...
How old was Daddy in that 14 years?
Well, I would have to say that your daddy was probably 12 when Amos was 14.
How old was Amos when you got him?
About 1.
So he was, in dog he was pretty older. What's 7 times 14?
Almost 100.
I want a dog. Me too.